Was there any after credit? Can't imagine there was.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I watched all of it. I don't remember there being one.
Same.
Yeah.
It was a very tight 30 minutes. Or 90 minutes. 30 minutes each act. It's a very tight 90 minutes. Strike all that I said.
I agree. I think this is one of those movies where you can really point to it as what you can do with less. And one of my favorite movies in this genre of tiny cast, huge stakes, is a movie called Hush, about a deaf woman alone in a cabin in the woods, and a killer shows up one night, and it's really kind of, I mean, it's a suspense. It's kind of it's in the horror vein, but maybe not horrifying. And it's
tension.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. And this movie feels almost like the other side of the coin in terms of a really great concept with sound.
Yeah. I think I missed a little bit of I missed hearing people talk in a movie, so it did that for me. It worked that way.
Welcome to Potato Chip Pictures, the movie franchise review podcast. I am Sammy Davis.
Hello, and I'm Justin.
And today we are reviewing A Quiet Place, the first movie in the franchise called A Quiet Place. So
appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. It's our spooky month of October. We are in the first week of it. Why not do a nice trilogy for the spooky months? And we'll start with 2018's A Quiet Place. Directed by John Krasinski, screenplay by Scott Beck, Brian Woods, and John Krasinski. The story was from Scott Beck and Brian Woods, and I should have looked it up. I don't know if that's like a short story that existed, and then it was turned into a movie, but those are the people who wrote the story. That's the point that I'm.
That's important. Did they do part 2? Let's see.
Nope.
Maybe. Oh, okay.
We will get to it as we get to it.
Part 3. Did they do part 3?
No. They contributed as the launching off point for this franchise in terms of writing. John Krasinski kind of really made this his baby afterwards, and we will see that. But for now, let's talk budget. We have $17 million in 2018. That is nothing.
That seems very little.
That's like a 1980s James Bond, maybe? Let me see that.
Calculator.
Yeah.
Inflation.
I didn't write down the budgets of the James Bond ones, and I'm not going to clickety-clack until I find it. But nonetheless, in 2018, $17 million is genuinely, it's more than an indie film or an independent film, but we are still talking pennies to make a movie. But it returned $341 million, so not too shabby.
I think that was deserved. It's a good movie.
I mostly agree with you. I mostly agree with you.
Boo. No.
We're gonna get to the one thing that angers me to no end, and the other thing that just kind of irks me. But I also want to say a near silent film in 2018 is brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of taking a risk and trying something that is incredible. And then I really do love the monsters. In terms of a creature feature, I'm having a good time. I love monsters.
That you get several clear shots at a very still uncertain moment, and it's like for 17, I feel like 2 million must have been for these effects to make them look nice, to make them lit nice.
Yeah. And I was going to say even more. I would say fully like 5 million, close to a third of the budget. Because for a low budget horror movie, these are really good looking creatures. Yes, they're CG. We can tell they're CG. There are moments where they don't look great, but
sometimes I want my monsters not to actually feel real.
Yeah. Sometimes I want Jaws to look like a puppet, you know? Sometimes I want to say, okay, we're okay. This is all made up.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take it away? Take us into the movie.
I mostly took it in 30-minute slices because actually at 30 minutes each, there's a nice little lull. And, we get the nice, clear 3 acts of a simple movie, and I think you're right to the point of it being a silent movie. It, for the most part, it makes you have to watch it. Sometimes I try to get context while I'm working on something else and have the movie on to the side, and you can't. Compare it to something that's not related at all. I tried to do the same with the Cartoon Network series Samurai Jack, where mostly they never talk, and you can't follow it if you don't stare at it. It's a fantastic series, my favorite, but you can't just ignore it, which I think probably translated into success. Going to the theater, you're there to watch the movie. There's nothing else going on. It is dark. Like, you can't have anything else going on. You get kicked out, or you should.
Yeah, should. Agreed.
So the entire, let me check my notes. The first 30 minutes, I don't think we get any speech.
I think you're right.
They sometimes they kind of whisper as they're signing, and the signs are captioned on screen. You'll get mumbles and whispers just barely. Like, it's silent in my office where I'm watching it, and I could not make out if it matched what they were trying to say.
It's more mouth sounds. Like, barely exhaling and just lipping the words, and you're hearing the tongue moving around. So if it if it grosses you out, then maybe turn it down a little bit. But to me, it's fascinating because, how do you get speech out of breath and mouth sounds?
Yeah. We are mostly not treated to knowing what sort of alien or how it arrived. I watched it, and I don't think I understood how this post-apocalyptic world happened, which I think gets spelled out in the sequels. But I don't know. I never watched them, so maybe everything will make less sense after the sequels try to make it concrete, because you can't just make things concrete in the lore without screwing up what you didn't have to worry about in the first movie.
I do like that you have to kind of read the headlines of, newspapers that are blowing around. And I had to look it up because I don't remember, but they tell us this is day 89. So we're less than 3 months into the apocalypse.
And it is empty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The family we're following, one of the children is deafened, so I imagine they learn their sign language for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's the oldest. Can't quite tell her age. I imagine a teenager. Second is sick. We're at a medicine store, abandoned pharmacy. Get medicine for him. And the third kid is probably 5, maybe 6. And it is quiet and tense until they leave because they're all trying not to make any noise. I think the only way you could not know that this movie was about noise is if you didn't catch any of the trailers or posters.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. You'd be delighted at the end of the movie having picked this blindly, but...
oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I would love to sit down next to someone who has never heard of this movie and just watch it with them. Like, I don't want to watch them watch the movie. I just want to watch it with them and then afterwards be like, so... what'd you think? Because like I knew what it was about before I went to see it. Like it had been advertised pretty heavily, at least
felt like it
to my version of the internet. But so I was ready to watch it. I enjoyed it. And I imagined with your oldest daughter being deaf, I imagine that all of the children have been taught sign language from infancy. Because, I mean, we try to teach our
little sign language.
Yeah. Give us the simple words to communicate so you're not just screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the selection of the horror theme of You Can't Speak and the inclusion of a family made it very easy to spend every minute making these characters interact. They're forced to. You can't, like, you have body language, but if they're not watching you, you can't say anything to a person. And that's the first 30 minutes includes the brother interacting with the youngest, or the sister interacting with the youngest, the oldest brother getting medicine from his mom, and the dad kind of getting really tense because the youngest is going to do something, but they're all around together, and it's all forcing the connections to be present. Like, sometimes when people act and they just say the script words, like, there's no connection happening. Like, you want there to be connection, but it's so, I think it's so focused on this little family that that's the payoff. Like, all of it is the reaction and the attitudes and the perspectives all merging together to make you not want them to die. But man, the first 89 days get them to a moment where their youngest doesn't quite think through the consequences.
Oh boy. Here's minor frustration number 1. This is the smallest. This is the lowest level of frustration. This kid has survived 3 months in the apocalypse when literally everyone else in the town, except for like a few select people, but most people that he has ever known are now gone and dead. And for some reason, he has forgotten that batteries always generate noise. My gosh. Whew. It's so frustrating to watch it. It's also frustrating that Reagan gives him the rocket ship but doesn't like enforce that the batteries are no.
Can't go with it.
Yeah, like
yeah. I think the only bit of information that the youngest kind of conveys is, oh, here's a chalk drawing of a rocket to get us out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I can only assume that he's 3 months of just tired of whatever this is versus what the first 4 years of his life were. So minor frustration I can agree with. I think it serves the grief purpose of a loss in the family.
Oh yeah, it demonstrates stakes immediately.
Yeah. I think they do it well. Later on, the parents talk about it, and it's just so it just hangs over the movie as it needs to. This family's trying to survive, and I do think in the first 30 minutes, we get to day 472, a year later. I couldn't really tell if John Krasinski was burning the mementos because they don't show him put them in the fire, but he's looking at them at the fire.
Yeah.
And we don't see that he leaves them to the side, but I'm like, grief, yes, but don't burn it. No.
I can't believe that he burned them, but maybe he did. Like,
maybe.
I remember that too. I was like, that's so weird that, like, okay, I can, fine, you've got a fire. The monsters are blind. They're not going to see your fire. And a fire that high is quiet. They're not going to hear your fire. So I'm like, okay, fine. But, and then I was like, maybe he's using it for light, but I agree. Like, I don't remember him putting it away, and I kind of thought he put it in the fire, but then I was like, there's
watched
no
it
way.
to be like, did he? Yeah, like, why would you? He wouldn't. But, I mean, grief does things to you, so I couldn't really tell. But I did know that I didn't notice the other fires when I first watched this forever ago. There's other people that also light fires at nighttime in the tree line. And I'm like, oh, well, those are the other people that have survived this long.
And I think that's exactly what it is. I think this is a demonstration of life at this point. So if a fire doesn't come up at night, your neighbors might be dead. Like,
yeah.
That's the vibe that I got. So I did like that as well. And who knows, maybe small town mountain folk, some of whom have enough land to farm, maybe they could do it. They could survive the apocalypse. And maybe the monsters don't
quietly.
Yeah, like maybe the denser the population area was, the more the monsters stay there. Maybe the ones that are here are just kind of aimlessly wandering, as it were.
That's where I like, man, when we get to a little further, first act, we see that this family is now expecting, and it's like, that seems like the most optimistic thing to do in a dystopian world. Holy cow.
And that's where we get to my movie killer.
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought, well, when I watched this in 2018, like maybe I was just in a bad mood. Like maybe I'm more optimistic now. My kids are older. Like I've got a better view of parenthood at this point in my life, and I'm still furious. I'm still so angry that their 4-year-old who could think things through better than a newborn demonstrated that he could not keep quiet for 3 months. And now they're going to attempt to bring in a newborn. Yeah.
I chalked it up kind of on the positive side because it's not making a sound is hopeless. Like, this world ends if these things didn't actually have a weakness. Like, this is world ending. And like, but yeah, still, oh, that is a rough world to have a baby.
Yeah. And like, I can't imagine, like, the only thing that I could possibly think of is that maybe they've run out of condoms and they don't know how to time her cycle. Maybe it's an accidental pregnancy and you don't exactly have abortion clinics at the end of the world. So I will, I can give it that. They never tell us explicitly, because by the time the family would have had that conversation, we're, months past that. Yeah.
Where you say not explicitly, I'm also like, you said Reagan earlier, and I was like, who's that? Like, I don't think the names are ever said.
I thought Reagan's was.
Maybe.
I thought they signed Reagan a couple of times.
Maybe. I didn't know. The names are Lee, Evelyn, Marcus, Bo, and Reagan. I don't know which one. Marcus dies?
Bo
dies. See, I did not know their names, but since they're the only characters,
it's the wiki,
not necessary.
And I'm sure the cast tells us, like, if we looked at the list of cast. But yeah, I don't know if they ever say the names out loud, because I'm thinking about the river scene, and I don't remember them saying Reagan's name out loud. I think they say, have you talked to her about it? Yeah.
Which, in normal life, if it was just your family, you wouldn't really have to identify names.
Oh yeah, it's one of the more believable moments, because they're just like, yeah, that's probably how my family would have done it. If two of my family members are in a fight, to the point where they don't even want to hear the other person's name, you'll just use the pronoun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first act, I understand that it's to get to know the family and the stakes and the drama that's happening against the end of the world. I do think I don't get as much from Lee, I guess, the dad. I think it's kind of a plot point that the daughter is unsure if her dad loves her because he doesn't say it, and it's like, I can't understand that.
I can.
It's like I can empathize, but I'm also like, this is the end of the world, and you are yes, you're trying to protect them. Like, you could die the next time you accidentally fart.
Oh yeah.
So you should
let it out too loud. Yeah, I agree with you, and I can definitely see that tension. I can totally understand where there's this dark shadow of blame where, like, you know that it's nobody's fault, but you also know whose fault it is. Like, and even though she could not have known that that Bo, the kid, would pick up the batteries, she still gave the shuttle when Dad said no. And so, like, she went over Dad's head. And none of this would have happened if they had only listened to Dad. And dang it, Dad is always right. And that's the other vibe we get. And he has that energy for the whole movie where he is the protector. And next in line is his son, who must also learn to become a protector. And his daughter must learn to become keeper of the house, so he always leaves her behind.
Yeah,
Never
I was
lets
getting a
her
little
into
bit
the
of those
basement.
vibes.
Yep.
It's like, well, I understand we're at the end of the world and nobody's around to be like, well,
Mm-hmm.
she could learn how to operate the gun and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's maybe that's just this family's beliefs,
Yeah.
and it's served them this long. They've survived well over a year of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So I think they could argue that they are doing just fine. But it is one of those things where it kind of frustrates me in this movie, this family and their reluctance to get with the times, baby.
Yeah. I think it's like, I feel like the movie itself stands on its own merits of post-apocalypse,
Mm-hmm.
surviving monsters that hunt you down from sound. Like
Mm-hmm.
that sort of critique didn't change my review as much, my rating, but it was like, oh, like, yeah, this is your basic levels too.
I'm going to keep going back to it. This is my Goldfinger. This is that movie where, like, I should like it a whole lot more, but there are just these minor things that irritate me so much, and they're all put together, and most of them come together in the finale of this movie. So, like, it just irks me personally, but I'm always going to say I love these creatures and I love this premise. And
Yep.
as I was just making sure we weren't missing anything big, I realized there's that dinner scene where, the kids are playing Monopoly and one of them accidentally knocks over, I think Reagan, maybe the brother, but one of them knocks over the lamp, a fire starts and everybody like panics and then they like go still and silent. And then we do hear a sound, but it's just raccoons. Like, oh man, it's such a tense moment. And it really is indicative of some of the best qualities of this movie, where it is so tense in a lot of places.
I think the stakes are high, but then you see that, like, if you're just quiet, you can build this entire thing where you were living. And if you stay quiet, you can continue enjoying this thing that you've built. So when you accidentally make a lot of noise, like, you could just lose everything in 30 seconds if these things find you. So it's...
Yeah. And you have to think about construction as well. Like, you cannot make new above ground structures because there's almost no way to make anything without noise. So you need to always be working underground, but then you have to be careful about how much noise you're making there. And they live pretty close to the mountains, so I imagine they don't have soft ground that they can just dig into silently. I imagine they've got a lot of rocks and boulders.
Yeah, I most of the stuff that they had, I felt like, was pre-apocalypse. So it was like, well, I don't think they built too much, but they did drag stuff to the place to soundproof it.
Yeah.
But left their windows, so you could see outside.
I think the fence structure and their lighting system, there are some like post-apocalyptic preparations on the outside that had to be made.
Yeah.
And the only way I can imagine them doing anything that would have required nailing would have been during like a thunderstorm. And then you're outside in a thunderstorm, like trying to nail things together or drag big, heavy sheets of metal.
See, that'll bring up my main criticism. I think in the, not to skip too much, the second act, the father and the son go to forage and get things from the stream, and there's a waterfall that they can talk at, and they get they focus on the plot of what's the drama of the blame. And meanwhile, I'm wondering about the monster rules, because it makes sense. If you're next to something loud, you can talk because the loud thing isn't going to give you away. It's going to cover for you. But if the loud thing is happening, why aren't the monsters coming to the loud thing? Do they eventually know that the loud thing exists in the space that they were at?
That's the vibe I got. I don't think they said it explicitly, but my understanding, okay, and this is headcanon, there's nothing that would have been confirmed to us. I get the engineered species vibe from this creature, where it is sent to be a plague upon a life, or at least an intelligent life, because I don't think we heard a lot of birds in that movie. So I think birds are also, it's only the quiet animals, the nonverbal animals that have survived, as it were. And so I think that if you had a very loud noise compared to a quiet noise, and you're engineered to do this, I think you would go after the very big loud noise, because that might be an army putting up a resistance against your own kind, and therefore you must squash the ability to fight back before going after the quieter noises. And if there's a loud noise that's constant, like a waterfall, and every time you go to check on it, there's nothing to kill, I think eventually you learn that some things are just noisy by nature.
That was only a little bit of like, but how does that work if they're attracted by new and only loud noises, but they'll remember that it was super noisy over this way. We don't have to go back this way. So, I mean, I think I remember criticisms from the back of the past being like, just live next to the waterfall.
Yeah, like just, start digging out the back of the waterfall and live there.
Right.
Be as noisy as you want to be. But yeah, that is a valid criticism, and it's strange that no one has set up camp near the waterfall. Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, I think if the first act gives us a lot of information on the family, the second act gives us the action of, well, how are you going to have the baby? Because it feels like there's only a couple of questions in this movie.
Yeah.
How do you survive? Oh, you're pregnant. How do you have that baby? Oh, the monsters are still around. How do we beat them? So we get to answer these questions, and that for $17 million, I think they nailed. They get to figure out the weakness with help from the family hope or optimism. Like the dad is making these earpieces for his daughter because he loves her, wants her to be safe.
Oh my God. Dad will never tell you he loves you, but he'll always show you he loves you by not ever showing you he loves you, just bringing you these busted cochlear implants and be like, hey, try this one. Hey, try this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's waterfall, they come back, but by that time the mom has stepped on a nail that she pulled up.
Yeah, I was going to say, so we skipped, we kind of shuffled things. Like, the quiet moment of them being at home during the day, including like the dad and Reagan talking to each other a little bit, and the mother saying, "Oh, I'm due in 3 weeks. We've got plenty of time. Let's, we got to pace ourselves. We've got to do things the right way and make sure everything is set up, but let's not panic." And then they're planning their day. And that's when we have our first big in-family fight where Reagan wants to go with dad to learn how to provide for the family. And the brother definitely does not want to go with dad to learn how to provide for the family. But dad knows best. And even mom is like, you know what? Maybe you should take Reagan. Like, no, dad knows best.
Yeah.
And so the family splits up from here, which I also, frustrated at the family, totally buy them splitting up at this point. Yeah. Like, everybody needs their own space. We're not in immediate danger because, again, the baby's not due for 3 weeks, and we've survived for like over a year and a half with only one death. So like, we're doing all right.
Yeah, I agree. It does feel like a nice long interval before they have additional action.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the mom who creates all the drama that picks up. Like, Reagan's out being reminiscent of her baby brother, dad.
I thought she didn't run away, and now I'm like, well, she kind of ran away, but she just went to the grave marker.
Yeah.
So
just to put some stuff there.
Yeah.
And so at first I was like, oh, is she packing to leave? But when she showed up at the grave and started leaving stuff, I was like, oh, okay, she was just taking a trip.
Saying sorry again for what happened.
So, yeah, like, everybody's having their moments. Like, so to this movie's credit, I can fully buy that at this point in particular, everyone is off guard because they think their guard is perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's that freaking nail.
And keep it quiet for most of the time we need to. Yeah, the nail that kind of just has to exist for problems to start. It doesn't make sense that it's on the paint spot. Like, you would totally remove that nail. But
absolutely.
We're
and the
in
fact
the movie,
that
we have to.
So the reason the nail comes up is because she gets a laundry bag stuck on it and she's just pulling on it. Like, you have to know that it is stuck on something. So go backwards, figure out what it's stuck on, and make sure that that's not a future problem.
Yeah.
But I guess we got to let our guards down. Like,
we got to.
Yeah.
It has to.
Nobody's perfect, and this movie has to take us to that point where nobody's perfect.
We have to get the monsters close to the people. So they have to be accidentally loud, which that's the assumption going into this movie. They're going to confront the monsters and somehow through their human pluckiness are just gonna make it happen. You might have some opinions on whether it's because dad knows best, that's how they make it through. Or if that's the assumption, then the end of the movie, do you like or dislike? We'll get there.
Yeah. I wanna get to another love-hate moment in the movie. I love the fact that this moment really sticks with me. It's one of those moments that I think of more than the rest of the movie. But I know what movie it's from every time I think about it. And that is the return trip of father and son, where they're happily bringing the fish home and they see a neighbor in the woods or, just nearby. And it gets very silent, very tense for a moment. The part I hate is the fact that the neighbor who has been surviving for a year and a half and only now lost his wife, decides he doesn't care about other people, and especially the fact that like he waited until there were witnesses before he made a noise. Like, oh, so I think about it the most. It kind of makes me angry, but oh boy, does it stick with me.
Yep. What do I think about it? I mean, I don't know where you're thinking it's from. I do know that it's effective in being a surprise. Like, oh, remember that other people, though they might be able to help you, might just endanger you because of the human emotion they can't hold back. I do question. She got killed by one of the things. Where's the thing? It ran away. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and on top of that, had he been digging that grave all day or just after the two of them left to go, foraging and fishing? Because I assume they traveled through
to get there,
his property.
Come back.
Yeah, and he's got, it is a shallow grave, but he did dig a grave and he's an older man, I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm like, there are a lot of questions in my mind, but I also find it interesting that we've been conditioned. You mentioned we're in the post-apocalypse. You don't know, who you can trust.
Yeah.
And that is what every post-apocalyptic piece of media has taught us, that humans are unpredictable. And so part of you is like, is this a stranger? Is this someone who has just showed up out of the blue? But then we get the vibe that no, this is a neighbor, because he's not like freaking out. He's just telling him to be quiet. And it's,
I don't know if he knows him, but maybe it's possible.
I always take it as they know each other, but you're right. They don't have a way of communicating other than sign language. We don't know if this old man knows it. Yeah. Like
maybe in some cutscenes or something.
Yeah, maybe. And we don't even need that information truly.
Yeah.
Like really all we need to know is there's a dead lady. There's an old man. He's done doing what he needed to do, and he's not willing to keep going without her. And he's chosen the moment when there are witnesses to scream. But it's the one I think about. So I cannot deny that it lives rent free in my, it's there. It exists, and it's my most thought about moment in this entire movie.
It's a quick scene. I think it gives a little bit better view of the monsters until later. I think it what do you compare it to being from? I feel like you have a movie in your mind of.
I would honestly, ever since Prometheus, I would say the Xenomorphs from the Alien franchise, because Prometheus as a spiritual successor that eventually became part of the franchise, it suggests that the engineers not only created life, but they also created the means to its destruction. And that is a genetically engineered super monster that will hunt and kill everything and just reproduce until there is nothing left on the planet. And eventually maybe they will die off, and maybe one day the engineers will return and reseed the planet and try again. And so even though we don't get anything that suggests that here, we've got things falling from the sky, crashing down. I also think of the movie Attack the Block, the British movie with
heard of it.
Aliens that crash down from the sky. They are great aliens. I would highly recommend Attack the Block. Such a dope movie.
Okay. We'll go for it.
So that's where I would put the creatures in this one, if I had to compare them to anything. But they are their own unique thing. They kind of look like the creature from Stranger Things season 1.
Yeah.
Obviously a different head, but just long and skinny.
I was going to call it the Necronomicon, but that's not the name of the monster. It's a something.
Yep, it's a something. It's a D&D monster name
I can't even remember now.
Yep.
Something.
It's kind of distressing that I have forgotten such an iconic creature's name, but yeah, visually I might compare it to that, but conceptually I'd probably put it somewhere in the category of Xenomorph or Attack the Block Alien. So the nail, I almost said the nail caused the water to break, but no, the water broke all on its own. She was just living her life.
Oh, yeah.
And it happened.
I think it happened. I'm trying to remember if it was right before she got hit by the nail, I assume.
Yeah, it was right before, because she was going to the basement, likely to change the lights or something, because you need a means of nonverbal communication. And the basement is the command center of the house.
Yeah.
So she's hobbling down the basement, likely walking sidestep, and she goes right into that nail, and it looks painful.
She acted
very
the
good.
crap out of getting stabbed with the nail. I was like, well, she didn't get stabbed, but man, she seems like she stepped on a nail.
And she barely makes a noise. She makes a noise, but she barely makes a noise. But it's clumsiness that really does it in. Grabbing at the wall and knocking over something to make a glass shattering noise. Mm-hmm. And thus begins the creatures drawing near. And, ooh boy, this movie gets pretty intense, pretty fast. There's a lot of moving parts. The whole family has to get home. Like, oh boy, it gets very interesting.
I think the last, 10 minutes of the second act, she gets chased by the monster. She has to hide from the monster. The shot of her feet creeping down in the tub, and then you see some blood from the baby starting to come. Like, that shot is just perfectly tense and horrible, because like, you're about to have a baby and you need to stay quiet, and that seems impossible. Therefore, you're going to die, but we're rooting for you not to. It mashes it all together very well.
Oh, yeah. It is intense. And, everybody does eventually get home, and everybody makes their way to their different action stations. But every time we come back to Mom, it's like, wow, how is she going to have a baby and keep that baby quiet? And like, oh boy, that's my stress point. I'm like, you're in the wrong place. You're in the upstairs, not in the downstairs. Like, and I know you didn't have a choice because you had to get out of the house, but I genuinely think you should have tried for the barn as quietly as you could. I know you're going through labor, and that sucks. I can't speak to the pain. Sure. I don't know if I could keep my mouth shut I've been in intense pain, and I could not keep my mouth shut. Like, it was waves of pain that was enough for me to like almost like moan and go,
sure. Enough for the monster to come get me.
Exactly.
Oh, so you reminded me of she wanted to go to the barn. Like, yeah, that's where the baby stuff is. The slight thing that I've enjoyed in most of the series franchises has been when things happen simultaneously, and you see her get out of the basement, go to the front door, and stop because there's a monster out there. You can't really see it. It moves, and she turns around and goes up the stairs, and it cuts to the dad and son outside, and you see the monster walking into the house, and it's like, it's right now. This is all happening right now. It made me happy.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I love that they have the fireworks, because again, I think that points to an engineered creature that would go towards battle in order to back up its allies. Because you have to take out an armed resistance before you go after just any noise you hear, you know? Otherwise, you'll just get picked off one by one.
My criticism of the pause between Act 2 and 3 is the fact that it's just it has to happen perfectly for them to survive. Oh, all of our soundproofing made it so the monster didn't come down and get us, and the baby is fine, and she's been kind of knocked out because she just gave birth. But everything's fine as soon as they manage to get the baby quiet and it's boxed with its air. Like, it has to happen so they don't die. But it also felt a little like, well, this is a brand new baby. To be this quiet seems impossible. But we're at a movie theater and we are suspending that disbelief.
And frankly, like you said, this is a tight hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I am going to get a bit nitpicky here. I don't like the sea of corn that they almost drown in. And I don't like the flooded basement. I don't think I buy either of them. Okay, the corn, fine. They climb up to the top. But why are they moving around so much? This is a big echoey space. Why aren't they smart enough to just sit still and wait? And if you're quiet, the things will eventually leave. You can slowly move to a position where both of you are able to watch both directions to see when it's safe. But they keep moving around and then they fall inside of it. And I get so mad at that whole section. And then how does the dad not hear the water dripping?
Yeah,
in this
he's walking silent, right as it. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two things that really, really bother me about this ending. But otherwise, I'm fully on board with the entire third act.
Yeah.
Like, those two moments irk me, but the rest of it is high intensity, really good, silent, mostly storytelling.
Which is why they needed the break to have the parents actually talk. And, this basement is perfectly soundproof. Let's resolve our stuff before the third act starts.
Yeah.
Which I gave him credit for, I would feel like, I could have picked up my baby. Like, hell yeah, I would 100% feel that. And, yeah. So I think they both actors do a good job of living that character's little arc. I think Emily Blunt is amazing. Like, stepping on a fake nail and doing that. I'm like, wow, that feels real.
I believed all of it. I believed her as the mother for this entire movie. I had minor qualms with John Krasinski. I don't love the sacrifice, but at the same time, it's totally in line with how I picture the character. So I'm fine with that. Okay, so we start to get to what's going to save this family. And that is one of Dad's happy accidents. Because he was tinkering with all these cochlear implants. And I don't know why Reagan decides to put one in, but she does. And oh boy, does it hurt her ears. But she can definitely hear it, which I think is what she keeps coming back to. The fact that there is a deafening noise. The fact that a deaf girl, could experience a deafening noise. So that I find believable. It just so happens, and she does not see this through the pain. But that deafening noise also hurts our monsters.
Hooray! They have highly. I could see the lore being feasible. Of they are superheroes, but there's a sacrifice towards the normal quiet. Like, hypersensitive to the noises, like to a point of weakness. But maybe it's a little fuzzy or lower down. It doesn't.
I bought it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Hook, line, and sinker.
It doesn't help that it's like, well, it hears the static, but it can't hear breathing. Like you can hear the TVs, but like,
okay.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm at. I think, okay, I know there is a resonance, like a frequency that can disrupt a lot of machinery. Not all, that would be ridiculous. But you can hit certain machines with certain frequencies and disrupt their functionality. I also saw, I think it was last year, but I don't remember when. I just remember there were protesters on the street in some European country, and their military turned on this sound cannon, and in seconds the streets were cleared because you can hurt people with sound, even sounds that they cannot hear.
Yeah,
just the frequency of the sound. And so I think I was fully on board with a creature that is hyper focused on sound as its only means of interacting with the world. Yeah, you could definitely hurt it with sound. Like, you have to.
I'm going to credit your dislike of the rushing water because I have it going on the side, and he flashes the light towards that side of the barn.
Yeah,
and
he
it
looks
is
at it.
spewing water. Like, I don't know how it, like, the monster must have kind of ransacked that part, but it is rushing
hit it
out
somehow.
So,
oh yeah,
failure
There's
on that part.
No way you miss it. That's second favorite shot of the movie: the water rushing and Emily Blunt with the baby on one side and the creature on the other side. Ooh. Such a good looking shot.
It's minorly marred by the fact that the monster slips into this, knee deep water and swishes around without making any movement.
Yes.
It's for the scare factor, but I was like, oh, he shouldn't be able to fit under the water that gracefully. He can't see anything that's floating. But
yeah, like you can see a fish when it moves under the water. Like everything makes a ripple, and maybe they just didn't think about it or didn't animate it. It's not the best, but it doesn't anger me.
Yeah.
And again, it leads to an iconic shot, something that looks great on a wallpaper on a monitor.
True. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Oh, that monster goes to the grain silo because that's where the dad went.
Because that's where they're making all the noise because the kids fell into the grain silo.
So then we get the sacrifice of the dad. He signs "I love you" to his daughter, which is
that's
great.
The closest she'll get to hearing it.
I guess it's tragic, but it's also like, well, yeah, I guess that's the death that we can handle happening. Mm-hmm. He's done his job.
With the character, I believe it. The so-called protector of the family, of course, would be the one to sacrifice himself, and so I buy it. I don't love the scream. It just might not be one of movies' best screams, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, go along with the old man's scream and the screams from what else were we watching? Oh, one of our future series. It was like, this is just not a good yell. Like, I don't know how you direct
we're getting
an
to
actor
the point
to yell.
in franchises where we're going to start hearing yells, and that's going to be one of the things we think about in movies. We're like, why'd they do the yell like that? And this is the director of the movie. Like, who's going to tell the actor to do it differently?
It wasn't not the worst, but it was not memorable that I could, like, the Wilhelm scream. Like, that's one you can hear anywhere.
And then I'm going to say, and this is me being a butt. This is me being a butt. for the second time, Reagan killed someone in the family because right after her dad dies, she puts it together that maybe she can use this noise to hurt the monsters. Like maybe, like, I don't know why she tries it again, but she turns it on after her dad is dead and the monsters leave the kids alone.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Reagan, you could have saved your dad.
It
just
sucks,
like you could
man.
have saved your baby brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious how much reference the second movie makes to this one, because as a whole, by itself, I am happy to leave it where it ends.
Oh, yeah.
She uses her little implant to, what would you call it, disorient and stun the monster, but also like open up its armor head plates. So when it kind of collects itself and comes at him, Emily Blunt shoots it with the shotgun and they win.
Yeah. The sound won't kill it, but, you know, the sound will hurt it.
Yeah.
Then you can use some good old American firepower and take her out.
So when the last 30 seconds is them watching the screens as monsters flock, maybe it just is just two. I feel like when I first watched it, I was like, there's 1 million coming, but I think it's only 2 on the screen because they killed 1. 3 were around them. So
I don't think it's like all of them showing up. I think there are a couple of new ones, but it's not more than the 7 that we saw on the whiteboard, I think.
Oh, I thought it was 3.
I don't remember the exact number,
Yeah.
but I do remember feeling like there are some halfway decent zombie movies where you're having a good time, it's very tense, and then you get to the end of it and the heroes are ready to fight back. And those are the ones I don't like the most. I don't like when they end the movie ready to fight. I prefer a movie to end just grateful to have survived.
Yeah.
You know?
So no go on this one? Because
It's
they're ready
not my
to fight.
favorite ending. Exactly. They look at each other like, let's go save the world.
I think
that to me is a little corny.
Yeah. Without there being a second movie, part 2, whatever, when I first watched it, I was like, yeah, cool. They'll get to maybe survive, but it's also a bit of, you were pretty incredibly lucky to get that one. Good luck on the next 2.
Like, do you know your implant is going to work every time? Do you know how to make another one if this one breaks? Like,
Runs out
yes,
of
you
battery.
have found a super weapon, but the guy who made it doesn't exist anymore.
So I am kind of excited to watch the second one to be like, what happens now?
Same. I've never seen the second one. I have seen the third one, and I'm going to be honest with you. I loved it so much.
What?
It was one of my favorite movies of the year. I loved it so much. I was like,
interesting.
Wow.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I went in, but I also went into it with extremely low expectations. So I might be coloring it for you. You might go into it and you might hate it.
What the heck is this?
But at the time, I was like, all right, well, this came and went without any splash. Like, nobody ever talked about it. I never saw the second one, but this is a prequel. I might as well jump back in. And I was like, whoa, that was great.
Okay.
But we're not talking about that one yet. No. That's 2 weeks from now.
We're wrapping up this one.
Exactly. And on this podcast, we do ratings, not grades. The primary difference is where you find the average. On a grading system, you say a 7 out of 10 is the average, and so you try to raise the general grade to meet that average. But in a rating, you say a 5 out of 10 is the average because it's the middle. So if we say a movie is a 5 out of 10, we're not saying it's bad. We're saying it's average. We're saying it's right in the middle. Below that is when you start to get into the bad territory. Above that is when you get into the good territory. So with that said, Justin, what would you give this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, I have the number already, but let's go over the things that I enjoy. I kind of enjoy the fact that it forces you to watch it a la Samurai Jack, where you can't just listen and kind of hear the tones and maybe catch some of the body language. Like, if you miss what they assign when they're signing, you will lose some information, because I totally didn't see that it was 3 weeks away, because I was like, oh, the baby's ready to happen. I didn't really think about it. I think the mom character, Evelyn? Yeah, Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was entirely believable, the talk they have between 2 and 3, where it's all about the guilt and just the grief of losing their youngest back at the beginning. Like, it wasn't said until this part, and this is all that you really needed to say. The fantastic part of, like, at least relatable on my side of, I would feel the same way, lady. Drawbacks, I think I don't have too many. I was yes to the what would you say? The perspectives of, oh, those guys are going to go provide and protect, and the girls will do the laundry and have the babies at home. Like, I don't want to bring that in necessarily as, like, this is saying anything about this family in the apocalypse, but it is a little basic of, like, okay, we don't have to know much more about their motivations, or hear any nuance in their character. They're just, so that's why, like, it's nice that the mom and Reagan are wanting to be better prepared, and at the end they're ready to take on the monsters. Like, cool. I give it a 7.5. I think this is a much above average movie, because I think it hits all of the necessities of a almost zombie apocalypse movie. These monsters are here, everything is gone, but we have each other, and we lose some of those people along the way, and then we are maybe not in a better place from where we started, but we've survived. I really like it.
I think that's extremely fair. I genuinely do. And I'm going to say right now that my score changed twice throughout the discussion of this movie. I'm going to say the thing that I've already said. The number one thing that irks me is the fact that they're even getting pregnant at this time.
That's like, a rough call.
Yeah. It just seems like such a bad idea. Like, oh my gosh.
I wanted to be feeling like, oh, this is optimistic, but this is like crazy optimistic, you guys. It's a baby.
The crazy is the big word there. And again, the time the family would have had this discussion would have been 6 months ago, and we weren't privy to that part of the family's life. So I do, to the movie's credit, I do like this minimalistic storytelling where they're like, this is the world that they live in. These are people who do live in America. These are people you have met before. This is a believable family, and I will agree.
Yeah.
Even though this family frustrates me to no end, I have met this family, so have you. This is genuinely middle America family, and so thumbs up to my thumbs down. But then I have to remember that this movie did more with sound than almost any movie that I have watched in the past decade. And they did almost nothing with sound. And that's so incredible. And I love the creatures. They don't look all the way believable, but as we said before, you don't necessarily want to fully believe in your monster. You want to have some foot in reality and 1 foot in fantasy. And yeah, so the concept and the creature really carry the day on this. So I came in at a 6. We were talking about it. I took it up to a 6.5, and I was sitting here thinking, wow, I'm going to have a 0.5. And then we kept talking about it, and I was like, this movie really does a lot. And even though it makes me mad, like at the same time, I'm still believing it. Like there's never a point where I'm like, ugh, can you believe this? Ugh, this is so fake. Like, no, the reason I'm mad is because I'm in their fantasy. And that's why I have to give it a 7. So you're at a 7.5. I'm at a 7. Show average 7.25. But, I had to journey to get to my score.
I was pretty set from the beginning after watching it. I know the first time I watched it, I enjoyed it. And the second time, I think it was nicer to kind of think about how we get to the tension and the stakes, feeling like this family is just trying to survive this, and they kind of successfully do. They kind of fail. It does enough, and I think it definitely, when I'm surprised at other franchises spending like 50 million and getting like bonkers money, it's like, how did this movie get that?
Yeah.
Like this one, I could see. Yes, a lot of people would enjoy this one.
And, like we both said at the time, this movie was pretty heavily marketed, at least to me. Like again, at this period, I was not watching television. I was mostly getting my media from streaming or YouTube. And if there were ads, chances are they were telling me about A Quiet Place. And it's been that way every time a movie has come out. I have been inundated with ads. So this is a franchise that at least right now is culturally relevant. And I'm excited for that. They keep telling us that there's going to be a part 3 coming, but I don't know if it's actually happening or not.
Wait,
but
this movie?
So the next one is called A Quiet Place Part 2, and that is because there is a planned Quiet Place Parts 3 and 4.
But there's a third one. What's the third one?
A Quiet Place Day 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So still numbered, but but we're going back in time for that one. Whereas the next one presumably is going to go forward in time. And as we mentioned earlier, it's new to both of us, so no spoilers in the comments.
No spoilers.
But speaking of, if you enjoyed yourself, why don't you give us a rating, a like, or review? If this is your first time with us because we are starting a new franchise, hit that follow button, the subscribe button, whatever the free option is, click that button so we will be with you next week as well. If you enjoy us enough to share our content, but maybe you're thinking, these episodes are too long, you can also check out our YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where we make shorts from each episode and put them out throughout the week. You can share those and help out that way as well. And then, of course, you can send us an email at potatochippicturespod@gmail.com. And of course, until next time, shut up!